So, we've had access to the FM23 beta for a few days now, and if you're anything like me, you've already grew attached to a certain few Wonderkids. Well, in today's video, I'll be running through my Wonderkid Dream 11. That's my favourite Wonderkid so far from every single position. Hopefully this will give you not only players to sign in your save, but also, if we do this right, a whole bunch of them, because what I want you guys to do is let me know in the description who your favourite Wonderkid has been so far, so we have a massive list of them. But with that being said, let's run the intro and get right in to my Wonderkid Dream 11. Hello everyone, Jake here for FMSCOUT, and in today's video we'll be running through my favourite Wonderkids of the game so far. Before we get into it though, don't forget to smash the like button on the video and subscribe for more content like this. We're doing 2 videos a day at the minute, so make sure you hit that button so you don't miss any of them. And we begin with our goalkeeper, a 20-year-old Andorran Wonderkid of all things by the name of Iker Alvarez. He plays for Villarreal's B team and can be signed for anywhere between £4 or £5 million. Now, I played as Villarreal in FM22, and I can tell you Alvarez was certainly not this good, but he looks phenomenal this year. Physically, really well rounded, but those goalkeeping attributes are exceptional for a player of his age. 6'3", and he already has excellent command of his area. Taking into account his value and the player that you're getting right from the off, he is going down as my favourite goalkeeper that I've found so far. And it should be noted, every player in this list, it's all my personal opinion. I'm not going based on the potential ability or anything like that. A team with Camavinga, Fati, Pedri would be a bit boring, so instead I'm going for my personal choices, taking into account value, availability and the quality of player they can become. Moving into centre-back, and I'm going for the 18-year-old Portuguese under-19 international Antonio Silva of Benfica. Already a regular starter for Benfica at only the age of 18, it's clear to see this player has a lot of quality. His attributes already look great all around. £20 million-ish would not be a terrible deal considering just how good he can become, and the fact that he's only 18 here and he's going to get loads better in the next 3 or 4 years. I think this guy is a must sign at centre-back if you want a long-term option, and of course if you have the budget. He's a very good ball-playing modern defender, and I'm a massive fan of his. Before we take a look at the next player, I'd like to let you guys know I do have my own channel linked in the description where we have a Leicester save going on currently. A lot of you guys have came over and said you've really enjoyed it, so thank you to you who have, you're absolute legends. But if anyone else wants to check it out, we're still only, I think, 3 episodes in at this point, so there's still time to catch up, and we're getting very, very close now to 10,000 subscribers over there, so any support will be massively, massively appreciated. But let's get back to the Wonderkid list. If you're looking for a hard tackler at the back to go alongside Antonio Silva, then Giorgio Scalvini is likely going to be your man. There's plenty of great Italian centre-backs this year in the Wonderkid department, but Scalvini is one of the best. 6'4", physically already very well rounded at the age of 18, so that's going to get loads better in the next few years. He likes to dictate tempo, bring the ball out of defence. His mentals are very nicely balanced, as are his technicals, and whilst he's not a crazy good passer, he can certainly do the defensive shift very well. Now, I've just done a check. He is actually available as an approach to sign player, but does not want to join. However, if you speak to the agent and you actually make a deal, they were willing here to accept £3 million for him, and then as soon as I've done that, he is now interested in negotiating terms, which is great news. £3 million for a player like this, already capped for Italy. He is a top draw centre-back. He's only going to get better, and that is a bargain, right, for that price? That's made him even higher in my list now in terms of my favourite Wonderkids. Now, right back was a harder choice. There wasn't so many that stood out to me, but I have found this guy, Augustine, an 18-year-old San Lorenzo player, an Argentinian national, available for around £7 million. Now, there's nothing too stand out about him, but as a wing-back, maybe on support, it suggests defend, but for me, support, he would do a very, very good job. If we can just up his concentration a little bit, this guy would certainly be worth the money invested into him. He'll just need a little bit of time to grow. Left-back, though, was an easier pick. It's someone that I've been a big fan of since we first found him in our Essential Wonderkids list. It is Nicolazalevski, a Polish international playing for Roma, who can play anywhere anywhere on that left-hand side fairly naturally, and actually is more suited to a wing-back role than he is a traditional full-back role, but I'm sure you could easily make him natural there as well. But let's imagine him as a wing-back, shall we? The thing that he is best at. An exceptionally quick player with very, very strong mental attributes and great technicals as well. He could be a massive contributor to your side in terms of bombing up that left-hand side and playing some balls in. The defensive side of his game isn't as strong. His concentration, positioning and marking aren't incredible, but they're usable, I would say, and I think everything else kind of counteracts these facts. But fullbacks who are either-footed, able to play on both flanks are all the rage at the minute, able to come inside and play inverted as well, and Nicolazalevski certainly fits that bill. He's already 20 years of age, but he's got a lot of room left to grow and could make that left-hand side of the pitch his for years to come. Someone who I've only discovered recently who has become an instant favourite for me is the 16-year-old Swedish national Lucas Bergval, who plays for IF Brommapojkarna in the Swedish divisions. I'm really sorry about that pronunciation, but it's that team there. Just try and type it out. I did my best. But anyway, he can play across 3 roles in the middle of the park, but ideally, I think you'd be using him as maybe a Mezzala, or as you can see here, a number 10 behind the striker wouldn't be too terrible. But you look at these attributes and you think, they're pretty good. That's not too bad at all. And then you realise he's only 16 and you can pick him up for dirt cheap. I mean, why would you not go for this guy? You can easily tell within a couple of years he's going to exceed this transfer value tenfold and you're going to make massive profit on him even if he doesn't break into your first team, but there's a very good chance that he will. Born in 2006, the 16-year-old is incredible in a variety of areas and compared to many players his age is standout and miles above. You're going to have to sign him quick before he moves to a bigger club, so get a scout on him, see what you think and bring him to your team. Our other central midfielder is going to be a Croatian 19-year-old playing for Dinamo Zagreb by the name of Martin Bratina. He's an excellent passer of the ball who's got good first touch dribbling as well. He's not too bad off of a set piece and he's very versatile, able to play in a variety of roles, and whilst outside of that he isn't massively quick or strong or amazing mentally or the best finisher, I don't think that matters too much. At the age of 19, to have this good base set of attributes, we'll call it, is fantastic. He's got a lot of room to grow from here and he's got a good base point to build up from. Around £5 million looks like it would be enough to get the deal over the line. Let's check. Yeah, there you go, about 5 million. His wage demands do seem exceptionally high there. I don't know if that would be the case if we actually tried to sign him, for him to want to go from £3,300 to 100. If he does ask for those wages, definitely do not sign him. But Martin Bratina does look phenomenal in the middle of the park, and now it's time to move on to our attackers. On the left, it could only really be one man this year, Andreas Sheldorup of Nordsjælland out in the Danish divisions. The Norwegian 18-year-old has attributes that players 10 years older can only dream of. He's so good in so many areas with really high potential as well, and in all of your saves will go on to be a star player for even the biggest sides, and to be able to get him for so cheap, it's crazy. His physicals are maybe the one place that needs some work, but that will happen. He's only 18. Everything else though is so good, almost too high. He looks really, really talented this year. He was good last year, but this year even better, and I think he'll go down as many people's fan favourite after this year is done. On the right, we've got a player who joined us in the winter update last year for Football Manager. It is Rooney Baji, a 16-year-old Swede playing for FC Copenhagen. There is a lot of hype around this man. You can see why. At the age of 16, he's got incredible attributes all around. Much like Sheldorup, he's not going to cost you the world either, but if he moves to a larger club sometime soon, you are going to struggle in terms of signing him. Copenhagen already a big club, but if he moves to a top 5 European league, you will struggle to get him for anywhere near this value. In terms of young players cutting inside from that right onto their left foot, I think Baji is probably the best option out there. There's a few others to consider, but for me, he is still my favourite. I think he looks phenomenal for his age and easily a great investment at that kind of price point. I mentioned Adagola in my Essential Wonderkids video as my favourite that I've seen this year, and it is still the case. The 17-year-old Turkish national is so good, like incredibly good playing for Fenerbahce. Yes, his physicals are pretty diabolical, but they will get better over time. But those technicals and mental attributes are flawless. Him in the middle with Baji and Sheldorup either side, that would be a crazy attack. But Adagola, you only have to look at him to realise just how good he is. He's only 17 years of age here, guys, and he is this good. Imagine what he's going to look like in 5 years' time. Playing for Fenerbahce means he'll be in a lot of your guys' saves, and for only £9 million or so, he's got to be signed, right? What a bargain he is, and you can see, even the assistant says, £8 to £10 million is about right. It doesn't look like he wants to join straight away, but either way, still one of my favourite Wonderkids and someone to keep an eye on. Don't forget to like the video if you have enjoyed and subscribe for more content like this, whilst letting me know in the comments who your favourite Wonderkid has been so far. But let's finish off with the obvious one, right? The striker, the one I made a video on only yesterday, it's Hendrick. He's so good that I did actually think that I shouldn't include him in this video and pick someone else, but when I compared everyone, you just look at Hendrick and you go, it's got to be him. Last year, there was a few times in these kind of videos where I didn't pick the obvious names of Sesko and Luca, but there's nothing I can do to overlook Hendrick. He just looks so good. You've seen how good he can become, easily going to be the best player or one of the best players in the world in all of your saves pretty much every single time. Phenomenal player, and that is my Wonderkid Dream 11 so far. There'll be plenty of revisions to this list as time goes on, but for right now, these 11 are my favourite Wonderkids. Let me know in the comments who I missed, but most of all, have a great day, and I'll see you next time. Thank you, and goodbye.